Yeah, what's it this time? Hey, fuck you! I didn't say nothing about using Psycho! Oh, you've been to Vault 2 huh? God damn it! I didn't say nothing about using Psycho. But, just talking hypno-theoretically here. Got any suggestions? All right. I'm a little light. How many hits you holding? 3 hits? Like that's gonna hold me. Fine, I'll take them. Yeah, whatever.
Something on your mind?
Are you here to jar at me a while longer? Or are we ready to get this show on the road? Wait a minute, I recognize you. Yeah, you're Alice McLafferty's rising star, ain't you? You sure you want to be here? McLafferty's non-competes are pretty rigid. Well, I ain't never been inside myself. Did some trading with the new Canaanites from their mission there. But that was all on the outskirts. All the old ways in and out were destroyed after the war. But we got ourselves the location of a pass the new Canaanites use. That's our way in. That's why I wanted someone with a Pip-Boy on the caravan. The map will be helpful for checking the topography, keeping us on the trail. Are you now? You know we ain't coming back this way for a good long while now, right? And you know about the weight limit. I don't want no whining about old Mr. Masterson. I left my one-of-a-kind plasma cannon back at base. Can we go back for it? You sure you're ready now? Well, all right then. Let's get moving. We got a long road ahead of us. The paths we're following are slow going, so you might as well keep your ears open and listen to what old Jed has to say. A few decades back, folks in the NCR started to hear about a community in northern Utah called New Canaan. Didn't know much about them, except that they were religious folks, sent out missionaries to talk to the tribes. We've seen our share of cults, but the New Canaanites, they were honest traders. Good fighters, too. Raiders wouldn't tangle with them. But then, the Legion appeared in Arizona. I reckon you know all about them. Turns out Caesar's first war chief, the Malpais Legate, was a New Canaanite, Joshua Graham. Legend goes that Graham was the meanest, toughest son of a bitch in the whole damn Legion. The New Canaanites wouldn't talk about him. They were ashamed. Guess I can't blame them. Well, at Hoover Dam, the Malpais Legate finally met his match. Hanlon and Oliver kicked his New Canaanite butt right back over the river. Caesar had to make an example for the others, to show them that even at the highest level, failure wouldn't be tolerated. He had Graham covered in pitch, lit on fire, and thrown into the Grand Canyon. People say he didn't even scream on the way down. Not long after, some of the slaves and tribals started to talk. Said Graham wasn't dead. Shouldn't have been any surprise. All this talk bothered Caesar, so he forbade anyone from speaking his name. Wanted to erase Joshua Graham from history. He got his wish. Joshua Graham disappeared, and in his place came legends of the burned man walking the wastes. Probably just a tribal ghost story. But New Canaan's been silent for a long time. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe the Malpace Legate is dead. Or maybe Joshua Graham did crawl out of that canyon and finally found his way back home. All right, people. Been a long couple of weeks. But here we are. Zion. I know your feet hurt. I know you're tired. But I need everyone's mind on the trail ahead.
Ain't the trail ahead worries me, Jed. Those descents we made through that slot canyon back up there. Ain't no way we're getting back out the way we come. And then what?
God damn it, Stella heard you the first time. And the 15th, too. The New Canaanites will know a way. And if they don't, we've got the maps on our friend's Pip-Boy over there. Enough lollygagging. Get moving. And keep an eye out for tribals.
Sorry to bother you with reality, old Jed. Who cares if we can't get back out the way we come? That's not a problem.
God damn it! Ambush! Cover people! Watch yourselves!
I don't deserve this. My Pip-Boy don't even work. Why the fuck you hired me?
Ricky, might as well be waving at...
This. Pip-Boy don't even work. Why the...
Stay low, people! Stay
Might as
low!
well be waving at us. Enough of this. We're sitting ducks here.
Die on me, woman. You hear?
Hoy, Whitelegs don't leave survivors often. You're some kind of lucky, let me tell you. You came from outside, didn't you? From the civilized lands. Wow. Joshua will want to hear about this. Joshua Graham. He leads our tribe. Thanks to him, the dead horses are strong and safe from our enemies. He'll want to talk to anyone coming up from Southways. Guess that means just you now. Come, I can take you to him. Good Sists. We head east then. Joshua is at our tribe's camp in the Eastern Virgin. What can I tell you? Whitelegs. Nasty bunch. They've been raiding deeper into Zion ever since New Canaan was wiped out. That's what Joshua said. Whitelegs came down from Great Salt Lake in force. Fell on New Canaan before they could mount a defense. Joshua found some of the survivors led by a man named Daniel. Most of them have fled the valley, but Daniel stayed on with the Sorrows tribe. He and Joshua have been arguing over whether to stand and fight the Whitelegs, or take the Sorrows and the dead horses out of the valley. That's the weird part. Normally the Whitelegs keep to the Great Salt Lake. I don't know what brought them down this far south. What can I tell you? Only a little. I was very young. He was different. Prouder, yes, but harder, crueler, more driven. Really, I was terrified of him. We all were. When he came back, I almost didn't believe he was the same man. He was humbler. He wanted to protect, not destroy. Our advanced scouts leave chalk signs to mark places rich with game. I'm not a full scout yet, so I follow the marks and guide the hunters. Dead horses mark ourselves to commemorate our hunts. When a hunter takes a great beast, or when a youth goes on his first hunt, he gets a tattoo. We came up in the land of the dead horse, though why the back when folks called it that, I got no hint. We raided. We fought. We lost. Our enemies drove us back into Zion, and we would have died if it hadn't been for Joshua. Joshua and his Caesar. When Joshua first came to us, he was servant to a man he called Caesar. He led his master's armies, and we were ready to follow him into war. Then he lost his master's army to a tribe called NCR, the Sunset People. When he returned, he was as you saw him. Burned, broken, but changed. He led us away from Caesar, led us to our own destiny in Zion. If it wasn't for Joshua, the dead horses would still be the whipping boys of the Zion Valley. He taught us how to hold our territory, to protect ourselves. He guided us away from Caesar, and showed us how Caesar would have destroyed us. Little bit. I met some of their missionaries a few times, but I've never been to their city. Joshua could tell you more. Or Daniel, I imagine. We decorate our clubs with them to honor Joshua Graham. They were the weapons of his old tribe, so now they are ours. Can't say they seem that dangerous to me, but Joshua says they won the West. Well, because they're our enemies. What else would we do? They take our land, they kill our scouts, they poach our hunting grounds. Ask away. He's been the chief of our tribe since he came back to the valley. He went off to the civilized world years ago to fight a war. That didn't go well. You see his face, you'll understand. I don't know. He doesn't talk about it much. Maybe. But how can two civilized tribes fight over something as small as a dam? Ha! Really? That's... my gods. Must be some mighty civilized folks who built that. Now you sound like Joshua. He always tells me that tribal life is better, that I should stay here and forget the outside world. Hold up. See that log over there? Take a closer look. There might be some good stuff tucked in there. We follow this path for a while. Nice view of the river. Please. Why? Whew. That was some kind of lucky. Guess that one was all full of gecko, eh? Don't get used to it, though. Yao Guai are plenty mean as a rule. You can take the path north here if you want, or head east over the ridge. There's a nice view from the top of that cliff, if you want to look. Keep headed north, around this rock pile. Gotcha! Got anything bigger I can fight with?
Anda ya we withdrew. There ya you!
Follow the old road south. Nearly there. You see, fighting time! Ha! See those handprints? Dead horses and sorrows mark them on taboo places. Places from back when. Good thing for you, I don't buy into that stuff. Hold up. You're getting all turned around. Check your map and backtrack a little. These paintings show the dead horse's victories against other tribes. Lots more of them since Joshua came to us. Nearly there now. Watch out for traps in the water. Got to keep the Whitelegs out somehow, eh? Here we are. Joshua's just ahead there, in the Angel Cave.
Hoi, Auslander Zuka Joshua Graham. Scheiß! Would kill you myself, but Joshua says no harm to visitors until harm done to us. Go, Auslander. Meet Joshua. We see how long you talk like that.
We should have given you a better welcome on your first visit to Zion. But from what I hear, the Whitelegs beat us to it. Whitelegs seem to be the only visitors we have these days. And I wouldn't have expected anyone from the Mojave to come looking for us. And you're a courier, no less. Not the one I was expecting, but I suppose he wouldn't have come with a caravan. I don't know if you were close to the other members of your group, but you have my sympathy. I pray for the safety of all good people who come to Zion, even Gentiles. But we can't expect God to do all the work. The dead horses are capable scouts. Nothing passes into or out of Zion without my hearing of it. Happy trails. I remember. They were good friends. I have bad news for your employers. New Canaan was destroyed, its citizens scattered. All because of the Whitelegs. And Caesar, of course. The Whitelegs want to join the Legion. Caesar's rite of passage is the destruction of the New Canaanites. Almost assuredly because of me. The good news is that we can help you find your way back. Daniel, one of the other New Canaanites, has made many maps of the region. The bad news is that we can't help you right now. Not with everything that's going on. You're a good neighbor to us. We all go through periods of darkness. In such times, we can turn to the Lord. But it's good to have friends. Daniel and I need pre-war tools to help us navigate beyond Zion. Should we need to evacuate, these instruments will be vital to us. Normally, we would have some of the dead horses or sorrows look for them. But many pre-war buildings in the valley are taboo. They won't go inside. Thank you. Follow Shock can help you find your way around the valley. He's inexperienced, but he knows enough of our language to ignore the taboos about pre-war buildings. Welcome back. What can I do for you? Caesar would never admit this openly, but he knows that I'm alive. I've killed enough of his Frumentari and assassins that have come looking. I've heard one of them travels the Mojave as a courier. Most of Caesar's agents meet a fitting end in NCR territory, but maybe this one survived. I think that would put him and you in a difficult position. Caesar has agents looking for me, but he won't admit I'm alive. And even if you killed me, he can't acknowledge that. To do so would be to admit I had never died, that Caesar made a mistake. No, he lives by his lies and shall die by his lies. There is no escaping it. In the Great Basin and Colorado Plateau, all tribes are known for a specific weapon. Whitelegs are known for their big submachine guns, storm drums. They broke into an armory near Spanish Fork and have been using them for years. Of course, the dead horses have their wooden war clubs, and even the Sorrows have their Yao Guai gauntlets. This type of .45 automatic pistol was designed by one of my tribe almost 400 years ago. Learning its use is a New Canaanite rite of passage. I am a New Canaanite. We believe we are the heirs of a spiritual tradition given to our ancestors thousands of years ago. We have made and kept covenants with our Lord God to honor his laws. In exchange, we are promised eternal salvation after this life. The day will come when our Lord returns to judge us all. Until then, we must honor his laws and start others along the path of salvation if we can. That's why we trade with others and work the tribes. We have more than food and medicine to offer. Good news is our most valuable commodity. In a world filled with misery and uncertainty, it is a great comfort to know that, in the end, there is light in the darkness. Every day we move closer to our judgment. We must do our best to walk in the footsteps of our Lord and teach others how to do the same. For many of us, the road is a difficult one, but the path is always there for us to follow, no matter how many times we may fall. Every day. Some days are harder than others. I wouldn't say that. I am the acting war chief for the Dead Horses. They look up to me for such matters, but I only have the authority they give me. Daniel is the spiritual leader and main link of the New Canaanites to the Sorrows. He's up in the Narrows right now. A great deal. There are 3, make that 4 tribes here in Zion. You've already met the Whitelegs on the way in. In this camp, you'll find Dead Horses. In the Narrows, the Sorrows. And finally, there's Daniel and myself. We're New Canaanites. They attack everyone who isn't a Whiteleg, especially caravans. They don't know how to survive on their own, so they have to raid. But as for why they are here, they are trying to wipe us out. All of us. They want to join Caesar's legion, and they can only prove their worth by destroying the New Canaanites and everyone we shelter. Most don't. It's been hundreds of years since the war. They've developed their own languages. Take the Dead Horses. We think they were originally refugees from a place called Rez, east of the Grand Canyon. They speak a combination of Rez and a language spoken by travelers who were visiting Rez when the bombs fell. Over time, the two languages blended. I was a translator years ago, but it's hard to keep up with all of the tribal variations. The valley belongs to God, but no. The Dead Horses live at Dead Horse Point, up the Colorado River. They came here because I asked them to. Before I returned to the fold, I visited them years earlier. I looked much different then, but I left an impression on them. I taught them how to hunt more efficiently, how to maintain their weapons and pre-war equipment. When I returned, they showed their appreciation. The Sorrows have many skilled hunters among them, but no warriors. They have not had to deal with war or raiders for decades. Even though they can hunt a full-grown Yaoguai, they don't know how to deal with the Whitelegs. That's why we're here. We wear more clothing than them and understand more about technology. But we're still a tribe, a linked family of families. The Boneyard, Phoenix, New Vegas, they're just places, metal and stone. New Canaan dies, but the tribe lives on. When the walls come tumbling down, when you lose everything you have, you always have family. And your family always has tribe. Of course. We do. Though the Whitelegs destroyed New Canaan, they didn't destroy all of our supply caches. All forms of currency are recognized here. Caps, NCR dollars, even Legion coin. Take a look. Let me have a look. My tribe may take too much pride in its mechanical talents, but in truth, we are intrigued by the workings of a fine firearm. Right now, I'd like you to focus on helping Daniel. Maybe there will be time later. God be with you.
Like the shadow of a ghost. Well, that's that then. Whoa! Here we go! The way I heard it, Salt, upon wounds, butchered everyone in New Canaan and nailed their corpses to the cliffs. Look sharp. Lots of giant ants around here. We call them picnic killers. Don't really know what that means. Something from back when, I guess. Whoa! Here we go! You can nikumba me! I'm going to need a healer.
Anna ya wirichu.
I won't last long at this rate. Must have been nice. When Zion was friendly enough, folks could make camp wherever they pleased, and not worry about whitelegs and deadly critters. Like the shadow of a ghost. The spitter plants and the green monster men aren't native to Zion. Wonder where they came from. Fighting time! Go! Whoa! Here we go! Bet they don't have anything as nasty as Yao Guai out where you come from. Here we go! Like the shadow of a ghost. For as long as I remember, the dead horses have thought that places of the old world were taboo. Doesn't look so spooky to me.
you?
I could use some help here. Well, that's that then. The spitter plants and the green monster men aren't native to Zion. Wonder where they came from. Never stood a chance, did they? Whoa! Here we go! Whoa! Here we go! Feels good to be doing some actual scouting, not just following. Like the shadow of a ghost. Feels good to be doing some actual scouting, not just following. Fighting time! Feels good to be doing some actual scouting, not just following. chance, did they? Might as well tickle them with a feather. That compass thing always knows where north is, huh? Even if it can't see the stars? Like the shadow of a ghost.
Gut. Ja, Atag.
That back when medicine smelled is funny. Guess it works though. The Narrows up ahead. That's the Sorrow's territory. They're peaceful enough, but you don't want to make them mad.
You are the one Joshua Graham sent to us. Blessings of the Father in the cave on you. Daniel is waiting for you. Asaro's Yaoguai fist is a sacred symbol. It shows that we belong to the tribe and have willingly undertaken a dangerous quest to aid the tribe. Each Sorrow makes his own, and only after hunting and slaying a Yaoguai that threatened our people. Our shaman, Whitebird, oversees the rites. Perhaps if you spoke to him, he would allow you to undertake such a quest. Then I will look forward to our next speaking.
Feels good to be doing some actual scouting.
The dead horse has told me details about the attack on your caravan. A stranger's sympathy might not count for much, but for what it's worth, I'm sorry. The Sorrows will mourn your friends too. They mourn everyone, even the Whitelegs. They have sensitive souls. Innocent, if there is such a thing. In spite of what's happened, I hope that Joshua and I can help you out of here. But to be frank, we need your help too. Well, I'll be. I was starting to lose hope we'd be able to get any of this, much less all of it. Tribals are smart, but, well, they're ignorant. Letting go of a taboo is difficult for them. So I knew it would have to be one of us. Turns out all it took was a Gentile, or, no offense. These supplies are a godsend. But if we're going to evacuate Zion without drawing more Whiteleg attention, I need you to go back into the valley. Specifically, I need you to scout out some locations for Whitelegs and try to recover a map of Grand Staircase, a wilderness area to the east. There's also the matter of the roads. We're going to be heading out of the east side of the park, but I'm not sure the way is clear. I appreciate the enthusiasm. There aren't a lot of people in the wasteland with kindness to spare for anyone who isn't kin. Since you've been poking around the valley, you might see more activity from the Whitelegs. One of the Sorrow's hunters, Waking Cloud, has volunteered to help guide you through the valley. She has a special talent for staying out of sight. After this, it's just a matter of getting everyone out of here safe and sound. And hopefully you can head back to the Mojave without any more trouble.
Well, here we part ways. I'm needed back at the Dead Horse's camp. Maybe I'll see you there sometime. I will. Good gunning, Akis.
Daniel said that I was to travel with you until you have completed your scouting. Is this pleasing to you? Certainly. We should make haste then.
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept, when we remembered Zion. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it even to the foundation. O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be, that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be, that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Do you know what it means? Given those two choices, yes. In the best of all possible worlds, they would just leave us in peace. But they won't. I don't enjoy killing, but when done righteously, it's just a chore, like any other. Practiced hands make for short work, and the good Lord knows there's much to be done here. Happy are those who do the work of the Lord. Zion belongs to God and the people of God. It is a natural temple and monument to his glory. When our Lord entered the temple and found it polluted by money changers and beasts, did he ask them to leave? Did he cry? Did he simply walk away? No. He drove them out. It is one thing to forgive a slap across my cheek, but an insult to the Lord requires... no. It demands correction. I and the dead horses are prepared to do what must be done to protect Zion from the Whitelegs. And though Daniel won't accept it yet, there are many Sorrows who are also prepared. They may not be warriors, but this is their home. If you have a chance to speak with Daniel about this, ask him to consider defending Zion instead of abandoning it. He has good intentions. But I fear that if we evacuate the Sorrows from this place, it will be lost to them, and us, forever. Welcome back. What can I do for you? Yes, take a look. He's a butcher. Believe me, I know the godless fire that burns in his heart. I've been burned by it myself. He's not the kind to let his subordinates do all the killing. No, he likes to have a hand in it, that spear of his. He's fashioned himself an abomination before the eyes of the Lord. I'm happy to serve as an instrument of divine justice. Let me have a look. It's not something I enjoy, but I pray to God that someone may learn from my mistakes. What would you like to know? I was born in Ogden, what people came to call New Canaan. Things were more peaceful when I was growing up. When I was a young man, I went out into the world to do missionary work, as all New Canaanites do. I traveled along the Long 15 and followed 89 south into Arizona. Along the way, I met two men from a group called the Followers of the Apocalypse. Edward Sallow and Bill Calhoun. They came to teach the tribes. Calhoun was a good man. Edward was the one who got us into trouble down the road. No, not then. Back then he was just Edward. Smart man. Young, but we all were. We thought we could hike into the Grand Canyon and talk to Blackfoots. We did. And the Blackfoots were friendly enough at first. But eventually... I've thought back to that day so many times. I must have mistranslated. Something must have been mixed up, because the Blackfoots decided we weren't going to leave. The rest is history, assuming Edward hasn't changed it. This way lies the path to hell. Caesar needed me to translate. Translation became giving orders. Giving orders became leading in battle. Leading in battle became training, punishing, terrorizing. A series of small mistakes before a great fall. And I stayed in that darkness until after Hoover Dam. After I failed Caesar and he had me burned alive, thrown into the Grand Canyon. I survived because the fire inside burned brighter than the fire around me. I fell down into that dark chasm. The flame burned on and on. The next morning, I woke up and crawled out of the northern edge of the Grand Canyon, that cursed place. It took me 3 months to reach New Canaan. It was as though the prodigal son had returned. They welcomed me like I had never left. Never done anything to shame them. The fire that had kept me alive was love. Their love. God's love. I will never be able to repay the debt I owed them. But I must try. It's not something... You are kind to offer, but no. There's nothing you can do. We don't use chems. But I learned long ago that I'm immune to their effects. It never stops burning. My skin. Every day I have to unwind the bandages and replace them with fresh ones. Exposing my body to the air is like living through it again. But it's better to be clean than comfortable. I try not to involve myself with matters of the Mojave anymore. All I know is from before the Battle of Hoover Dam. Better than Caesar, but that's not a high standard. Too much love of money and ownership. Not enough love of God and giving. Any society that derives its power and authority from the will of man alone lives apart from God and will crumble in the end. I had heard of him, but when we were preparing to enter the Mojave, he didn't seem relevant to what was happening. From what I've learned since Hoover Dam, he handled the Mojave tribes in a fashion not entirely dissimilar from Caesar. It's too bad. Love the sinner, hate the sin. With Caesar, it's often very difficult to see through all of that sin to the person inside. I can say that we were both lucky that NCR supply lines and land routes north of Mojave Outpost were destroyed before the Battle of Hoover Dam. Something bad happened near Death Valley, at a place called the Divide. NCR couldn't cut across anymore, and it slowed down the reinforcements. Terrible storms ripped entire companies apart before they even got to Nevada soil. The aftermath of Hoover Dam could have been even worse for Caesar. I don't know for certain, and I don't think NCR knows either. Whatever happened at the Divide was too much for them to handle. Our Frumentari told us what they saw. Only fools and madmen would march into a place like that. All roads wind down to the same spot, the grave. They said all that's left there is a gaping wound cut into the earth, cursed and damned. No place for God-fearing folk. God be with you.
You leave me no choice.
They are you!
When Salt Upon Wounds took New Canaan, he ordered the White Legs to salt the earth so nothing could grow again. What kind of monster could do that? It's over. Messy business. I am glad it's over. Daniel says that most people outside the valley do not keep to the Father's ways. Perhaps when you leave, you will carry his word with you. As you wish, I walk in your footsteps. Katubiu. Have you not heard of the god of the New Canaanites? He is our protector and our judge. He helped our ancestors find their place here in Zion. He gave us many gifts, but we are not to seek him out. His caves are forbidden to us. Those who seek them out are taken from us. Perhaps you do not fully understand the New Canaanites. I have seen the Father's images. His holy bride and holy son were given unto the world to save it. They dwelt in the caverns of the mountains, caverns which can still be seen today. The people sinned against him, and were punished with the end that came in fire and the loss of the holy tongue. Only the New Canaanites were spared. I'm sure Daniel could tell you more. His knowledge of the Father is greater than my own. Waking Cloud is my name. I am midwife to the Sorrows. It sounds ill-omened, no? Midwife to Sorrows. The children and the old have already been evacuated from the camp. They are safe enough, unless the Whitelegs come for us in force. I tend to other hurts and sicknesses that afflict our tribe. I also scout the valley for the herbs I use in my medicines. What would you speak of? Daniel is a wise man and a great friend to the Sorrows. He taught me to speak the language of New Canaan, the English from the holy books. Yes, the language of the New Canaanites is the holy tongue, for it is the language their sacred books are written in. The Father in the caves brought it to them after the judgment, but the ancestors of the Sorrows sinned against him. They were denied the true tongue. 6 years. He attended the birth of my third child. It was a hard birth. The river nearly carried my water to the Father, and my child's with it. Daniel knew the ways of New Canaan's medicine. He stepped in and saved both of our lives. After the birth, I asked Daniel if he would teach me what he knew of childbirth. He agreed, and so here I am. What would you speak of? I do. A fine husband and 3 children. I miss them each day, but I take comfort in knowing they are safe. When we learned that Salt Upon Wounds had defiled Zion with his presence, Daniel ordered the children, the old, and the sick evacuated from the camp. My husband volunteered to lead the hunters that went with them for protection. I try not to worry about them, but we have had no news for so long, and Daniel seems sad when I ask him about it. Sad and a little frightened. Perhaps he will. I sometimes feel he thinks he must protect me. If he has news, I would know of it. He is war chief of the Whitelegs, and the worst butcher of them all. The tribes he has crushed are many. The warriors he has slain, countless. Then I will look forward to our next speaking. I... ask that you got... Guide this man who is the vessel of your will. Show him the light of your wisdom and the peace of your love. Amen. I don't want to linger in this place. I have seen many strange plants in... This is the only shore path from the Narrows to Pine Creek. They will be cut to ribbons by these traps. Disarm the traps if you can, or find the Whitelegs who placed them and drive them off. Our advanced scouts should be able to deal with them if they don't have to fight off raiders at the same time. As you say. I have seen many strange plants. Plants that seem to hunger for human flesh. Where they come from, I do not know.
You can company. You can company.
You leave me no choice. I have seen many strange plants in the valley. Plants that seem to... Those tents down there. That is a White Leg war camp. Do you see the war totems they've erected around the tents? White Leg warriors pray to them for strength and savagery before battle. This is no raiding band. Yes, if their war totems were to disappear, they would likely lose the will to fight. I will follow your command, but I advise caution if it is possible. I'll fight you if I must. I'm Nawai with you. I'm Nawai with seen many strange plants in the valley. Plants that seem to hunger for human flesh. Where they come from, I do not know. We pass like moonlight on still water. As you wish, I will wait, but please do not be gone long. I walk in your foot. Yao Guai, even our strongest hunters could not hope to kill so many. There must be a nest nearby. I hope that is truth, and not a boast. But I will respect your leadership. I stand with you. I have seen many strange plants in the valley. Plants that seem to hunt